All right, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1. What's good, everyone? Welcome to the Diversified Gentlemen. We got Hakeem, we got Jason with the new fade, cut the dreads off. It's your boy Reese. What's good, gents?
Good, man. Good to see y'all again, bro. For real.
Been a while.
You got the high and tight. You must be going on some job interviews or something.
No, I'm gonna have to let it go, man. I didn't feel right. The long hair was kind of like, feel kind of weird, so I had to switch it up.
Shit, at least you can still do that. You got the options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're taking low blows like jazz or something. What's good?
No, I'm just saying, no, not at all,
I feel like
man.
I can't sneak dissing over there, dog. You feel like you're talking about me.
No, not at all.
You know what's funny though? One thing, man, I like to wash my hair, like scrub my scalp. I just feel it feels good to do that. I couldn't do that with the locks, man. I just couldn't get in there and do. This day was new, so I couldn't do that. It unravel them. But I cut them off, man. That was the best. It was like a spa day, man. I was like a female in there. It felt good though.
Yeah, I stand under the water. The shower hit me. It feel like a massage. I got a scalp massage all day, every day. The wind blows. My massage. Anyway, all right, gentlemen, what we talking about today?
Well, I think talking about Jason's hair and the look, I think it kind of goes right into your overall style, right? Which would go into ratings. So I would like to talk about ratings. What I mean is, let's keep it basic, right? Look at a chick, look at a female, you're like, oh man, she's cute. If you were to rate her physically, right, you're like 5, 6, 7, whatever. They do the same to us. So I think let's talk about ratings. Is the rating system fair? I mean, is it something that we should stop doing? Like, what are y'all thoughts on like a rating system?
Honestly, I think it's go ahead.
Is it are you going off of like Kevin Samuels' rating system?
Yeah. Well, Kevin Samuels' rating system, every chick is what he said how does he put it?
Adjustable 6.
Adjustable 6. That's what it is.
What is that?
Yeah. And when you hear like, he brings up celebrities and he kind of gives a baseline, like Beyonce's an 8, Kelly Rowland's a 9 and someone's a 10 or whatever. So I believe that we all have our preferences. All three of us may see a woman walk by and notice different things about them, but depending on where our preferences lie as far as, body type, style, and if you're interacting with her, like if she got a bubbly personality, super feminine personality, more dominant personality, that all plays a part. So basically that's his rating scale, right? I believe if it's fair or not, we all have a rating scale. We all have a rating. Every human being, if you see 10 people, if you're at a club and you approach 10 women, if you're at a club and you're one of the men that approach a woman and she's been approached by 10 men, I think it's very natural and logical, rational to rack and stack them. So you do it at work, being in the military, they rack and stack you at work. They do it with your credit score. If you're over 760, you're the highest of the highest. You know what I'm saying? You're in that different category. They do it with a lot of things. Basically, even when you go to Yelp, I go to the top rated freaking, the top rated restaurants. When I go to Amazon, I go to the Amazon pick. I go to who has the most stars, right? So for us to pretend if it's fair or not, it's the reality. Because I think the way our minds work is better. It's easier for us to receive information. Like, yeah, this is good, but if this is better, I would like this option.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think a rating scale is archaic and arrogant. Let me tell you why I say that. Because most men, you look at upon a woman, right? You're not going to rate her, give her a number. You're not going to do it. You're going to either think attractive or not attractive and keep it moving. You're not going to sit there and give her a number. Now, if you're in a conversation with somebody and you talk about it and bring it up overtly, then you might, when you're younger, you might, yeah, she's this, she's that. But naturally, like our natural attraction is either yes or no, and you keep it moving. You know exactly what it is. You're not going to sit there and give a rating. You're not. That's going to be like I said, it's going to be a forced thing. It's a forced thing. It's not an automatic. You see somebody, you assign a number to that person. It doesn't happen that way. I don't think it happens with females either. They see a man, they're going to say, you know what, he's a 10, or he's a 6. It's going to be like, he's handsome or he's not handsome. I think it's a yes or no thing. And I think when it comes down to rating, that's a people sit down and do that purposely. It's not a natural thing to give an actual number to it. Like you brought up Yelp. Yeah, we do that stuff for services or things we want to go. We look at it and judge it. But you're not going to go to site with a bunch of women and a bunch of numbers on them. It don't make no sense.
I get you, but I do kind of agree with Reese in the listing, at least, right? So you may not give them an actual number, but I could see being in a room with a group of women. Let's say you there with a few guys, right? So you're there with your friends, and y'all are talking about the females, how fine they are, how cute they are, whatever. You can find yourself listing them, right? So it kind of relates to a rating scale per se. That happens. I think that happens more often than not.
Well, yeah, Jason's right, because yes, if you just if you take out all the the outside noise and you meet someone you like them, yeah, when you go home, you're not like, is she a 7.5? But
No.
but more of, like you say, more of like if you want to call it toxic masculinity thing, I don't think it is. I just think it's reality. When you describing her, it's easy to say, yo, she was an 8. Oh, an 8, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I think no matter what our preference is, we know universally, I think, especially in our like little subculture of Black men, what a 8 is, and it's easier to move forward.
And create.
Yeah. This. So yeah, whether it being fair or toxic or barbaric, it's the reality, and it's easy to press forward. And I would like to retract talking about women, because I don't know how their conversations are. I just know for men, ever since we've been in high school and someone's describing someone or an encounter and you weren't there, we use the grading scale. This person was a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you got a 9 or 10, we need receipts. Like, okay. Well, remember that Chris Rock that joke where he's like, what's up with Janet Jackson being with
Jermaine Dupri?
With Jermaine Dupri. Yeah. She like a 10, and he a 2. That's an 8-point difference. Like, that's like saying, they selling Bentleys for $5. Everybody laughed. It's so funny because everyone got it. You don't get, especially at the time, this is 15 years ago? Yeah. There's certain people, especially in our culture, you don't get higher than. Like, it's that gold standard. Janet is one of them. Janet at her best couldn't be messed with. Halle Berry, Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, whoa. And, and I think even with men too, because Jay-Z is not, Michael B. Jordan, but collectively what Jay-Z is, he's up there. He's, for us, again, in our subculture, he's that 10. He's like, you can't get Jay-Z and Beyonce, where can they go from there? Yeah. Besides like Obama and like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife or something. I don't know. But so I think we understand that though. And when we pretend I feel that when we pretend that it's not the reality, because there's a lot of things that's not fair. There's a lot of things that's barbaric, but then there's a lot of things that's just human nature, and we all know that.
I agree with that. I think human nature is a yes or no. That's what I think the human nature is. Your body's going to tell you, and Person's attractive, person's not attractive. It's us as human beings. We add that extra level of rating. It's only in conversation. And I can tell you right now, neither one of y'all sit there in your head and you walk by somebody, oh, that was a 3 or that was an 8. You don't do that. You know you don't.
Yeah.
Either say yes or no, you keep it moving.
Yeah.
And you go decide to say, oh, attractive, keep moving. And then there's another level too where you're gawking and really looking. You know, that's different. You're still not gonna give a rating in your own mind. But we're sitting there having a chat somewhere, you know, you may do that. But naturally, I think Kevin Samuels, not just on him, but he's come with the rating scale. I think it's a level of arrogance that's who is he to give people ratings just based on what he's telling them, you know? It's either yes or no. That's the natural way of things.
So I think that, all right, let's dial it back a bit. Because, you know, now I have, and we can go into this topic, another deeper topic when we talk about unlearning what you've learned. But what Kevin Samuels is doing is saying he's talking to a woman and she is basically describing the type of man she wants. He's saying the type of caliber man you're describing is a 10, right? The top of the top tier, right? Because these women are coming up there and say, I want this type of lifestyle. And he's like, do you know what this type of lifestyle means? All right. Or how much it takes to maintain this type of lifestyle. And they're like, I don't know, maybe 200,000. Okay. And you know, so you want a guy that makes 200,000. You want a guy that's faithful. You want a guy that's really good looking. You want a guy that's funny and is going to take you all over the world, treat you like a woman. You want a guy that's going to love God, blah, blah, blah. You're talking about a 1%, 5%. Let's call it 10% dude, right? You're talking about you want a 10. Let's talk about what you got going on for you. All right. You have 2 kids. The baby daddy's not around, so there's no support from that. What do you bring to the table? How much do you make? Okay, you don't want to discuss that. And going back to the human nature part, men are very visual. We have to talk about how you look, right? Because no successful man that I think, and when I say no, like ever, that's not the case, but most successful men aren't looking for a woman that matches their salary, right? They're looking for a beautiful woman that's going to be, you know, faithful, loyal, and provide kids. All that salary stuff doesn't care. But if I'm making $250,000 a year, you don't need to be the baddest of that. I need to be super attracted to you. And I probably don't want you with any kids. So basically, Kevin Samuels is saying, you want this dude that's here, but as far as the women he has to choose from, you're here. Why can't you get with a mechanic? Why can't you get with a, you know, city worker or a janitor, right? Because yes, that moves you down, that male, in that woman's category is lower than this man that makes, you know, that's a doctor or whatever. So I think that's what he's doing. He's just putting a mirror back at that woman, because none of these women are coming, for the most part, none of these women are coming and saying, I don't care how much he makes. I just need a God-fearing man. I got 2 kids. I don't need this man to love my kids. I don't care how many kids he has. I don't care how he looks appearance-wise. I need a dude that loves me. These women aren't coming on there saying that. You know what I mean? They're saying that, you know, I got a kid or 2. I'm not trying to work. I need this lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. Well, that comes with a lot of money to support that lifestyle. And you need a man that's going to make that money. And you know, in this world, especially, well, anywhere in the world, a man with that much money is going to have options.
Yeah. See, and that's where ratings come into play, because it's a multitude of different categories, right? So you got, you know, if it's a male making a certain amount of dollars, if it's you know, a female making a certain amount of dollars, the way she looks, the way he looks, and let's just go. All right, let's go back to what, you know, a woman wanting a man that makes $200,000. Let's just say that. and she's not looking for anything less. And then you start to look at, okay, what is your list of needs and wants from a man? And then what are his options, right? So at that level, a man making $250,000, right, a year, he's good looking, well spoken, very educated. His options are going to be pretty vast, right? So if you're not bringing anything to the table, what makes you stand out from everybody else? And then adversely to that, are your expectations or wants and needs even realistic as a woman wanting that, right? And I think that goes back to what you were saying, Reese, with, why not go with the local, janitor or whatever, garbage man, whatever, it's just
And I
not real.
think, yeah, and I think that's what he's saying because, again, let's be realistic, right? A guy, these NBA players, professional athletes, these rappers, whoever, if you're in entertainment, these guys, it doesn't really matter how they look. If they walk in the room, everyone knows he just signed a contract for $20 million a year. You're at a higher status, right? That's just the way the world works. And women, if you are of a supermodel looks, blah, 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 a lot of men will, deal with certain things they probably wouldn't deal with in other women if you're just like this, absorbingly beautiful and highly desired, right? Which goes into like, some of the top women we talked about, excluding Beyonce. It is weird, like they don't have a husband or they haven't been married since 20. It is, I kind of like scratch my head like, damn, you guys are the baddest of the baddest. Everyone in our subculture. Jason, I know you feel me on this. You remember in the 90s how bad Stacey Dash was?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
There was no one better than Stacey Dash. Yeah. And it's just like, but she's been married like 3 times.
Halle Berry, same way.
Halle Berry, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It goes to show something's missing morally with these people. I don't know what I don't want to judge them. Yeah, but you could tell that
maybe not
looks ain't it.
Yeah.
Looks ain't it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Looks opens the door. You know what I mean? But that house is not filled with something that's of substance. It's just an empty shell. You know what I mean? That's what all looks says. It gives you that initial yes or no, like I said before. But you gotta have more to that. And that's when I agree with old boy about if you got like 5 kids, you don't have no ambition, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not educated, that does knock you down completely because your door is not being opened in the first place. And the other things make it even worse. You don't have that, So that's where I agree with it, is that you got to have more than just looks. I don't care who you are, male or female, because looks just
and money. And for men, you got to have more than money, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to men and money nowadays, and I'm not speaking for every woman, but that obviously is a eye-catching attribute to have as a man. You know what I mean? Like you can't, like it seems like nowadays you can't have a regular job. I can't be, a manager at Target making $60,000 a year going for a pretty girl. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not. Go ahead. Yeah,
yes and no. So I believe that attraction is attraction. When you see a woman, they don't know how much you make. But I think the way a man carries himself, with that super confidence. Granted, you got that confidence, that male where he can get women, where he has like super sly, you know what I'm saying? That game. But then you have men when you just walk around, they're confident, they're different, and you can tell like this person is successful, this person has achievements, this person has accomplished something. And I think women are attracted to that because they're like, maybe even if he's not where he needs to be, I can tell he's going places because I can just tell that confidence. And it's a difference of that confidence where, dude comes up rubbing his hands like, Madden, and that confidence said, from a distance, you're looking like, wow, this dude, I like the way he moves. I like the way he talks to people. I see his drive. You know what I mean? And I think that's the only caveat. I think women will attach themselves to that, especially if he's young enough. And be like, I think this guy may be going places, or I trust wherever his path is headed. I want to be a part of that. But yes, you are right where it comes to a certain age. Let's keep it real. And like, yes, if you're in your 30s, you being the manager at Target, may be more than enough to live a happy lifestyle. But it doesn't sound as cool as a entrepreneurial investor, that whatever that means, right? And Kevin Samuels also says that.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Jason? Like, what do you think about that, man?
I was just thinking culturally too, we kind of put a lot of emphasis on money and ballers, you know. I would say Kanye, Shorty's holla, where the ball is at. Because that's what our culture is right now. It's look for that. Not just somebody that can take care of you emotionally, spiritually, and all that. It's financially. It's, can he provide? Can he protect and provide? That's the basic level of, you know, the man right now is, can he do these things? And that's equated now to how much is in his account. Simple as that. You take two guys that look exactly the same, and a female knows that this guy makes 100 million, this guy makes 25,000 a year. They're likely going to choose the guy with the 100 million, not because they're gold diggers or because they're, you know, he's rich, I want that. It's a sense of security. That's when people want to feel secure. They want to feel like they're taken care of, male or female, it doesn't matter. If you know, if the man got $100 of money and the girl's broke too, that's stress. That's how society is, man. They push us towards, you know, you got to be rich, you got to have wealth, you got to have this. But when it boils down to it, it's security. You want to feel secure, that you're taken care of, that you have to worry about struggling. Nobody wants to struggle. Nobody chooses to struggle. Nobody says, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and struggle for a couple of years, see how it feels. People don't do that, you know. So naturally, we have that natural. We want to have that the financial backing, and this is how it is. How our society is.
And you know what, you're talking about struggle, and I'm thinking about, I mean, you know, just what you see on social media sometimes is crazy, because you can see a couple struggle, or you know, let's just keep it at a couple. See a couple struggle. Do you think that the way we move in society and just the way we can flaunt certain things, I feel like guys in the dating scene, especially like, you know, middle-aged guys, man, if you ain't making money and let's just say you have an inkling that your girlfriend is about that, bro, your head's gonna be on a swivel. Like, I feel like you would never feel comfortable, because at any given moment, Jason Carter could come up in the I8.
Yeah, but we're kind of thinking
Rent
about
rental I8.
Pull up that Toro. That Toro special. So
I got one day, baby.
Yeah, military discounts. So basically, I think you're right. If you're no kidding jumping in, if we were to jump in the scene at our age, absolutely.
Yeah.
However, you know, we've all been blessed to, you know, find the people we are our partners at a younger age, when you have this timeline and journey from, you know, having nothing to having a life, and that appreciation for that accumulation together, versus but again, Kevin Samuels basically is saying that you take all of that out, right? And you just throw these people in their 30s, because that's what he always said, like, how old are you? Yep, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you were 22, 23, yeah, you can find a young guy on a come up, attached to him. You could support him and push him. But a lot of these women are saying, because very rarely do they say they want a guy that makes this much money. What they say is they describe their lifestyle, and he says that's going to take at least 180,000 a year. Yeah, you're talking about someone
comfortably.
Yeah, you're talking about someone that makes, you know, top 3% in their demographic. So you're talking about the top 3%. All right, let's talk about you now. let's talk about your age. Let's talk about what you bring to the table. Let's talk about your baggage. Let's talk about the kids you bring, you know. So you want this man that makes this much money, not only to take care of you, but take care of your kids, and that person's father isn't around. That may not be feasible. That may not be realistic, right? It would probably behoove you to look elsewhere and not, you know, continue to be single because you want, you know, this by VP at Amazon. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where he's getting at. He's not talking to, you know, 19 to 25-year-olds. He's talking to older women. And just like anyone else in the world, when you get older, you accumulate baggage, right? This period. So you accumulate debt, you accumulate previous relationships that may have ended with kids, you accumulate, you know, whatever. So again, if I am a successful single 38-year-old male that makes $180,000 and I'm dating and I'm looking across the table and you're telling me about what you got going on, why would I entertain? I may entertain it for the night, I may entertain it for the week, but why would I entertain starting a life with you when I can get someone that's younger, someone with no kids or one kid? You have two kids, I can get someone with one kid. I can get someone that looks a little better, someone that's a little fitter. That's all he's saying.
Yeah.
But he's saying that obviously he got to be entertaining, so he's more animated. So
yeah. It's a little bit more controversial, but I mean, I agree with them. I mean, when it comes to, you know, those types of men and women, like you're gonna have options. You're gonna have options. I don't have to resort to something less than what I want. I mean, that's point blank, period. I mean, as simple as that. Like, if I'm up here, I'm in the top 3%, top 10%, you're gonna have options, especially if you're good looking. It comes with the territory. I mean, it's just realistic. So, yeah, I mean, you can't fault them, whether it's a man or a woman. I don't fault them.
Yeah, I think he's just giving the reality in a very, like you say, controversial, animated way because he needs views. Mm-hmm. But if you really listen to what some of the women are saying they want, it is kind of entertaining. But because no one's coming up there saying, I don't care what this guy makes. I just want, you know, to be happy. I want this guy to be God-fearing. I want this guy to love me and my kids. They're not coming on there saying that. They're saying, I want this type of car. I'm not trying to work. And then they ask something, you know, what do you bring? Well, I'm going to motivate them. Well, you're talking about a dude that's already making this much money. He's gotten this far without, he doesn't need motivation. These successful dudes don't need motivation. Do you understand that? And that's where kind of the delusion comes in, where it's like, all right, he always says, you're so into the guy you want, you have no idea what the guy you're talking about, what he wants. Mm-hmm. Like, you have no idea. And Kevin Samuels trying to relay that. By no means is Kevin Samuels' opinions and views are 100% accurate and they don't come with flaws. But I feel that's his intention, but he just does it in a way that gets views, and then he'll say something, it'll pop and go more viral. And I think it just fuels him to, you know, act more of a fool. Just like, you know, back in the day when Stephen A. Smith was, you know, 10, 12 years ago, he was calmer, giving this, you know, this regular commentary. Now he's turned up. He's like a character of himself because that's what's got him to where he is now. And I think Kevin Samuels is on his way, and he's just looking at the algorithm and what gets views and what goes viral.
And I think another thing that kind of plays in his favor is he'll tell you the truth. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. He doesn't beat around the bush. If you look a certain way, he's going to bring that up You know what I mean? Like he's not going to sugarcoat it, and that's whether you're a man or a woman. I mean, if you're delusional in any sense, he is going to be completely honest. Now that I do like about him, even though sometimes it's a little outlandish, like he called the girl Emmitt Smith, like that's just kind of messed up. But
I know he didn't.
yeah.
But he didn't say. He said, "How tall are you?" She said 5'6", 5'7". He said, "How much she weigh?" She said like 230 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ma'am, you a size of a running back. You're a size of an Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders." You know what I'm saying? And then he came back. He's like a week or two later, he did an interview. He's like, "I got to detract that because she said she was 230. Those guys were 215." Like, so basically, he's getting at like, a man that's super. Basically, he's getting at is, there's love for everybody. Because someone's like, well, men like thicker women. Yes, but what successful man, very uber successful man, is going to pick that woman, right? Yes, there's men, that mechanic is going to find that woman attractive and love her to death. But that woman's not after that mechanic or that plumber. She's after this guy. Why? But basically, that's where he's getting at. That guy probably doesn't want you to weigh more than him.
So I got to give it to him on that. I mean, being honest, that honesty, not a lot of people can do that, especially when they're talking to a woman. I mean, you just don't see that a lot. So that part
That's his niche, man. He got it.
What's that?
That's his niche. He has that. He has that. He can do that. That's his whole brand.
That's it.
Brand.
That's
what pays the bills. That's what pays his bills.
Yeah, for
Think
sure.
about it. He got 3 dudes on here talking about his stuff, how he doing things. So he works. You know what I mean?
That's shock value, man. It's crazy.
Controversy, shock value. I think a dude been married a couple times, man, but giving out advice on dating just seems weird to me.
Hey, Steve Harvey
too.
Steve Harvey written books and everything. He's made a fortune off of that. Twice, 3 times.
But still, it's just one of those. If the advice is valid, it's valid because there's dudes that's been in prison for 20 years that get out and motivational speaker, and they're probably telling kids what not to do to end up in prison, and for you to tell like a convict that you can't tell me what to do, you went to prison, that dude still probably has a lot of great tips and definitely a perspective that you haven't seen to stay your ass out of prison, right? So,
you're right. Good point.
I think those with failed marriages, those that's failed in anything, someone that's on their 3rd marriage has a different perspective than someone that's been married 20 years. And they're both are going to come with valid points. With that person on the 3rd marriage may say, obviously, I'm not the greatest at it, but here's what I know not to do. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I know not to look for. You know what I'm saying? Just like that person that's been to jail, be like, okay, I see you're in the streets, you're making money. This is going to lead one place. Well, you stupid, you got caught. Like, got it, but just know, you know what I mean? So,
but next time, go out the other door.
Yeah. And it kind of gets crazy when you think about that. So, like with failed relationships or like a guy that's been in prison, multiple times, whatever, right? I kind of think about like it could go like one of 2 ways. Either you give out like your views are going to be a little skewed, right, on certain, especially relationships, right? You've been married 3 times, your views may be really skewed. You don't take your own advice, right? You may give good advice, but you don't take your own advice. And hopefully you're able to help somebody else, or like, it's just. But if you guys are think about that, because you've been married 3 times, right? You would think that you would learn from your mistakes. Obviously, you haven't. Like something's not right there. Something's not aligning to me like the way I see it.
But Hakeem, if good advice is a good advice, I don't care if you're taking your own advice or not. There could be someone smoking crack telling you not to smoke crack. And then
Yeah.
That's good advice. I don't care crackhead or not, right? That's good advice. You know what I mean? Just like, Hakeem, do your parents have degrees?
No.
Jason, do your parents have degrees?
No.
But I'm pretty sure they probably stress education, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because they understood that, hey,
that's a good point.
Not having a degree, there was a ceiling, it capped me. I wish I would have. And guess what? Life happens. And now I got to feed y'all. But however, you guys are young enough, please listen to this advice. And most kids are just like, how you gonna tell me to get it? You ain't gonna say that to your parents, but you're gonna go, you're gonna sit under your breath. You don't even got a degree. You telling me what I need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, that is good advice, though. It's good advice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Cool.
All right. So speaking of advice, what advice you want to leave the people today?
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, on this one, stop rating people. Just go with your gut. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. But one thing I would say about those young folks out there dating is date with a purpose. What I can tell you is that don't compromise what you want in a person and what you value because somebody has a looks you like, or because they have a financial bank account that makes you comfortable. Because that stuff is all temporary. You have to have those values in place before you even think about going even further. So understand upfront what you value in a partner, whatever it is, and make that the cornerstone of what your relationship is all about. If you want a God-fearing man or a God-fearing woman, make sure they are that person. And don't say, well, I can get them to go to church with me, or I can get them to do this later on. Don't try to build a bear. They got to have some foundational aspect that you value first, and then you build from there. But those things that have to be there. I'm not saying making a list of things they got to check off. There got to be some foundational aspects of a person you want to be with, and they have those things. They got to have them. Like if you're a male and you want a woman that doesn't have any kids, that's your bottom line. You can't have any kids. If she has a son that's like, well, he's cute and he's well behaved, then you're already picking yourself back to what your foundational wants are. Know what those things are. And they ain't got to be perfect. But have those things you know that you want in a person, and start there. That's all I can tell you.
I would say just work on yourself. I mean, if you want a certain type of individual, one, be realistic with yourself. And if there are things that you need to work on it. You know what I mean? If you need to finish your education, looking for a certain salary, a certain body type, right? A body change in yourself, like work on yourself. And I think that will give you more options, right? So you don't have to settle. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with settling, but if you work on yourself, open your options and go from there.
Yeah, and just to build off of what you said, Hakeem, be a reflection of what you're looking for. So if you want someone that looks a certain way, a great body, hopefully you're in the gym, with the working on your body. If you want someone with a certain amount of salary, blah blah blah, hopefully you're driven in your career, and that's what you're doing for yourself. You want someone God-fearing, hopefully you're in church and you're praying. But also, if you want someone that's God-fearing, maybe going to the club looking for that person is probably not smart. If you want someone super fit, a hot dog eating contest is probably not where to find them, right? You know what I'm saying? If you want someone making six figures, I don't know, a job fair or wherever, it may not be the best place. So, look, the places, try to figure out where those people hang out that you want, and stop, randomly getting picked up at the club and then being disappointed that this person's not who you thought they were. Yeah. So, all right, fellas, that was a good pod. We appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and give us some topics, man. We like hearing from you. Y'all have a blessed day and be easy. Peace.
Thanks for coming through. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content. Also, ensure that you like us on IG. And also, you can listen to the audio version on all streaming formats like Apple and Spotify.